Good afternoon, Sean McNamara speaking. I get asked three things that make one question a lot now, especially considering that there may be a minority government after the election. How would it work? What would it look like? And will everything work as it should? The question comes from fear of change and not knowing the future. It is a basic fear held by up to 80% of people. Like most fear, it has no basis in fact or evidence. There are two possibilities and one further and more out there possibility. The first one is that there could be a minority government formed by the ALP. The second one is that there could be a minority government formed by the LNP. The third one is that there could be a minority government formed by minor parties and the independents with either the ALP or LNP. Of course, there is the possibility of more of the same, be it ALP or LNP. However, the question is relative in all 3 points. Let's look at the first one, as it is probably the outcome given the preference deal done by the LNP recently. Here's how it would look. In the lower house, there may be 5 to 6 Green reps, 2 to 3 Xenophon reps, 1 to 2 One Nation reps, 1 to 2 Family First reps, and 4 to 5 other minor parties or independents. In the Senate, there may be 3 to 4 Greens, 2 Xenophon, 2 One Nation, 2 Family First, and 3 to 4 others or independents. That could be given a 10 to 14% swing to these parties and independents, and it could be possible that a majority of that swing is against the LNP. Let's look at number 2, which is a possibility given the preference deal done by the LNP, but it doesn't affect it as much as it could. Here is how that would look. A lower house, there may be 4 to 5 Green reps, 1 to 2 Xenophon, 1 to 2 First Family, 1 to 2 One Nation, 3 to 4 other minority parties or independents. Then in the Senate, you could have 3 to 4 Greens, 1 Xenophon, 1 One Nation, 1 Family First, and 2 to 3 others or independents. That is given a swing of 8 to 12% to these parties and independents. It could be possible that there is a split swing and that it is slightly higher against the ALP. Let's look at possibility number 3. This one is a possibility given the preference deal done by the LNP and also being reciprocated by the ALP. Here's how that would look. In the lower house, there may be 7 to 9, possibly 10 Green reps, 4 to 5 Xenophon, 4 to 5 One Nation, 3 to 4 Family First, and 8 to 9 other minority parties or independents. In the Senate, there may be 7 to 8 Greens, 3 to 4 Xenophon, 3 to 4 One Nation, 3 to 4 Family First, and 6 to 7 other independents or minor parties. That is given that a 15% swing to these parties and independents could be on. It is possible that both the ALP and the LNP could lose up to 15% support each. This, given the above preference swap and the Senate changes being perceived as trying to kill off the voice of Australians and promoting the two-party system. it would also require a tight preference swap among the minor parties and independents. So how would it work? Possibilities 1 and 2 are not dissimilar, and we have seen it in action already in the Gillard minority government. In this case, it was simply a matter of supporting supply, and on went the country doing what was needed. Not necessarily was it the best that the country could have, but we don't need to examine this possibility because we've already seen it. However, with 32 alternative House of Representative members and 27 alternative senators, there is no doubt that a minority government would have to be formed. When I say a minority, I mean either the ALP or the LNP being the minority. It could most likely be with the LNP. This is far more complex, but better than the possibility of the other two. It still becomes a matter of supply, but not on a small percentage gains basis. It will require a lot of talking and planning, thinking and ideas. I have seen this years ago in parliamentary subcommittees, in Rotary clubs, in community-based groups, in churches, football clubs, surf clubs and alike, where very different people come together to make something bigger than themselves work. This is what representation means in its truest sense. They bring freshness, experience, and a will to get things done right the first time. This will be beneficial to Australia and to all the people that make up Australia. Representation will have at last been returned to all Australians. Parliamentarians and politicians will have to work harder and make much better decisions. There will be more scrutiny and less, far less, factional and party division in the revenue pool. Then the words working together will have a true meaning and replaced by partisanship, which has become redundant. This working together will become a model that will restore balance to the budget, debt converted into savings, services into reality, and prosperity for all. It will bring true meaning to both equity and equality. Will everything work as it should? Probably better. Needless to say, representation will be present in the Parliament, and of course it will work such that Parliament sits, bills will be presented and voted on, budgets will be put up and supply voted for. Government departments will go on about their business, probably a little leaner, but definitely producing better results. They won't be wasteful because the scrutiny will be sharper. Health and Medicare, human services, education, defence, and so on will just continue to operate. Banking, tourism, business, and everyday things we take for granted will continue. Roads will be built, as well as infrastructure and other necessary projects. Unbelievably, they will probably come in on budget and on time. The country won't plummet into an economic abyss never to recover. In fact, many elements of budget and supply will operate better because of robust discussion and parliamentarians working for their constituents rather than for their faction or party or lobbyists or other people. Don't be afraid of change. Don't be afraid of the future. Vote with your conscience and your ability to look through the past and more of the same. Vote for a minor party or an independent and secure a real future of representation for Australia and Australians. Not just for a few hundred politicians, for 200 companies and their directors and shareholders and the wealthy elite. Vote for a better Australia, for you, for me, for everybody. Thank you.